Hey guys, and welcome back to Eric's Creative. My name is Eric McGrew, and today I am going to be talking to you about this router sled that I made. So here before me we have a router sled that I made yesterday. I guess it took me about an hour and a half to make. That sounds maybe like a lot of time, and I guess a lot of people would say, oh, it only took me 30 minutes or whatnot. But in this case in particular, I was dealing with a bunch of very raw materials and I had to mill them down to size. It's made from mesquite wood for the side rails and then white oak on the end spacers. The only reason that is because that's the excess material I had sitting around. Do you have to make it out of valuable woods? No, you don't. If you can mill down some plywood or even some pine to get it square and flat, and especially the top edges flat and smooth, then you can use that as well. I actually just used a piece of MDF board for the sled itself with a couple of pieces of white oak for the top rails, and then also some white oak for the side runners. Now, this is a little bit different than what a lot of people do for their sleds, only because my table, I don't actually have a work table that's completely flat at the moment, as you've probably seen around the shop. I basically have to build one each time I do that just because of space and stuff at the moment. But this one here is a piece of MDF on a couple of sawhorses. It has a slight, dip in the center, very slight, like half a millimeter, something like that. And so it seems like it may not work because the board that I'm actually milling isn't sitting on a completely flat surface. And under normal circumstances, that would cause an issue. However, I milled down some Douglas fir and I used them as spacers, and then on both corners opposite, well, actually on this one it's the same side, but on this side here I used a bunch of shims, which are just pieces of cardboard from actually 3M sanding paper that I bought, the 8 by 8.5 by 11 sheets. I cut them into thin long strips and then I tear them in half, and I use those with little shims of wood that I have to shim the corner up. And I did that on both sides this time. Now, as it sits, this doesn't rock at all. Now, another thing that I did that seemed like it would go against the whole principle of making this work is that I actually screwed it down. But don't misunderstand, I didn't affix it with screws in the sense of I didn't tighten the screws down. As you can see, the board still has movement. So if it doesn't rock, then it's because the shims are doing their work, not because the screws are tightening it and twisting it. So I left enough play, but what I did is in the excess, because I cut these to rough length, I drilled with a 3/8 inch drill bit a hole deep enough to where I can set the head of the screw down in there to keep it from walking side to side and spinning on the table and things like that and becoming out of skew. But also it's deep enough to where the milling process won't actually hit the head with the router bit, the head of the nail or the head of the screw. And then when I'm done, I'll trim that off. So is it the most ideal setup? No, it's not. Does it work? Yes, it does actually. I have these boards here, and even though I can't show you on this how it's flat, I'll show you in a clip here that it actually is flat. I will say that with the router I'm using a flat bit, and it leaves a little bit of a groove, so I do have to go back over it by hand with a hand plane, a smoothing plane. I'm using a number 4 Buck Bros plane that I've honed from Home Depot. and I'm just smoothing out a lot of those ridges, and it comes out to be flat. It has no wobble in it. Now I can run it through the thickness planer, and then I can cut my dados in it and my rabbets in it, however I choose to end up doing this in the end. And I have a board that will work for the side drawers of the end tables I'm making. So it's a little out of the norm, and from most perspectives it might seem like it wouldn't work, but it does work. Just remember, if you're going to do it this way, make sure you have shims that keep it the level it should be. And then also, when you use the screws, set the outside hole, the outside diameter for the head of the screw to go down in, deep enough to where you won't hit the screw head with the router bit, but also deep enough to where it won't hit it, but it doesn't have to clamp down on the wood. You don't want it to clamp down, because then you can basically stretch it into a flat shape or a out of skew shape, and then when you mill it and you take it off, it still won't be flat because you have actually twisted it to where you wanted it to be based on the force of the screws, not based on the natural state of the wood, if that makes any sense. If not, leave a comment in the video and I'll explain it better. I hope this was beneficial for you guys. I hope it helps you guys out to understand what I'm doing. Also, I'll go into one mistake I made with the sled in another video here soon. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking out Eric's Creative. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Also in the link in the description below, you'll find links to my Instagram, Facebook, and Etsy. If you guys would be willing to help me out in that way, that'd be great. Some of these products I buy from Amazon, those are affiliate links. Please go by and check out those affiliate links. I could use the help. Thanks guys, I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next video.